Okay, here's that install in that 2016 Ford Flex for that single 8-inch kicker comp in a sealed box. We'll start back here in the back end. I went on the passenger side. I tried the driver's side rear cargo area, but there was no room to mount the amp, so I started on the passenger side. Removing the upper pillar by the cargo area bolt molding piece, took the two bolts out, and then you pull the molding piece forward and it pops out. Right behind the second row, repeated this process. It was just one bolt in here and pulled it straight out. It popped out. Then back to the cargo area, you got these plastic push-on connectors. You can move one on the left and right, and you can remove it, disconnecting that little cable. And then the little cargo hooks, those unscrew just by hand and go back up behind the second row seat, and that's that automation system to rotate the seats forward. That just pries out with a flathead screwdriver, and again, disconnect that as well. Then removing the mounting bolt for the seat belt, still on the passenger side, and retracting the seat belt through the plastic molding piece. Then there was the third row seat belt bracket I forgot about, and that's this part right here. Pop that little cover off to access it, take it out with the star head wrench or star head socket. Back on the passenger side, moving the lower foot molding, getting access to it, and it does have a screw that's holding it down. That's all connected back to the back side. You can see it right there. Now I was able to pry it back out. All it is just pulling it out. Pulling it out, it pops out. Got the little guide pins just to help with alignment. This little plastic piece I'll have to remove and modify later, but I definitely need to keep it. Now I'll go ahead and pull the amp out of the box just so I can mock everything up to see exactly where it's going to fit, how it's going to locate in the area that I'm going to choose for it. And you can see here, this is how I'm going to mount it vertical. But I drew me a white line where I've got to mark out and remove that part of that plastic piece. The right side I'll need because it's got the locking pin where you do the screw tab when you put the molding back on. So I have to keep the right side. There was enough room cut out, and I had to relocate the wires. You can see here the one behind the amp, and then the locating pin to hold it in place. Just drilled another hole, moved it up and over, and now it clears the amp. Put me some tape down, maybe some marks, pre-drilled some holes for the mounting the amp. Go ahead and roughed up the paint. I picked that spot right there because there was 3 layers of sheet metal going into the frame, a little thicker. Prepared and soldered and crimped my ground lead. Got it mounted into place. And that arrow showing the battery off my flashlight, and you can see it shining through the bottom of the car on the right. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my step-up drill bit and drill me a hole, and this is where I'm gonna run my power wire from the battery down back up into the car. Step-up drill bit. A little plastic grommet piece to go in it so it will not cut and fray the wire. I'm all zip tied to hold it in place, and now I'm pitted with some loom just to protect it. So this is going to be on the bottom side. And then we go running it through, and I'm on the driver's side here up in the front section. Removing the molding as needed, routing it through the back. Popped out a little bit of the quarter paneling over there. Just extending it on around and tucking it all around on past the third row seating. Not cutting anything. I put that little piece of loom on that because it ducks out from the molding up under the seat. Right there you can see it, but when the carpet lays down on top of it, you can't see it anyway, but I just did it because it was for a just in case feature. Here is the base knob. Base knob, getting it all prepped up, double face tape, which it comes with 2 sets of screws as well, but just some added security here. And I got this mounted right up under the driver's side dash. Nice and clean out of the way. And routed the wire as well, tied a little knot in, and I'll tie it around the brake pedal just so as I'm pulling the wire, I don't pull too much and end up losing my end down there. I had to pull it all the way back through again, so that's why I did that. I routed it same way I did the power wire. All the way through the back, again, lifting that paneling up, tucking it up under there, and then laying the carpet back down. Now I'm finding a location for the fuse in the up under the hood. Here I'm checking the depth. Before you drill your screws, you mark your location, but make sure there's nothing behind it. That's all I'm doing with this nail. Make sure I'm not gonna hit nothing or go through something that doesn't need to be. Prepping up the end of the power wire, some solder, copper lug. Get everything cleaned off, and I'll hit it with some electrical tape, secure it, then I'll put that red jacket over the top of it. Routing this as well. You see I got 2 zip ties there just to hold it down. Notched out the positive side cover so that the power wire will set in place and that the cap will still close back down. You see that there, we'll still get that factory look. Now I'm back in the cargo area routing the power and the base knob wire. Again, everything's going to be kind of loose right now before I get everything tested, before I tape up and secure everything into place. There I am, completed the run for the power, got it into place. Now I'm removing the rear passenger door that I'm going to tap in for my L.O.C. Just moving these plastic pieces here. Took a Allen wrench to the L style just so I can hook and pull that out. And if you mess with this, you'll see there's a little hole. You can't pry it out, you got to get some behind it and pull. This one here, just a little thin flathead screwdriver. Move that reflector and that exposes a screw. You got this one screw here, and I think there's 4 more that goes around the door. You can see them, the arrows here. Once you remove all of those, just take you a plastic door popper, hit it at the bottom, and it just pops straight out. Just like that. And you better lift it up a little bit, but then you've got cables attaching, so don't get too crazy with it. And there, that's that door actuator. Take some needle nose, and you just crimp that little plastic piece, and it pulls back and out, and then it swings around. And I'll show you here in this little quick video. Once it pulled out, just like that. That's how you remove that one. Now I think this is the power window switch here. Removed it, then you can take the door completely off. I had already changed the speakers once before in this vehicle, and that's what you got them SoundKeep 6.5s in there. I'm just double checking my color code when I need to tap into. I removed that B pillar section here, pried it off so I can get access to the speaker wires. Make sure I got the right color code, and you see they're twisted together. And I T-tapped into those, and that's where I'll be getting my signal for the amp. Ran my wire down the passenger side, out the back. Tied it into my L.O.C. That's good to go there. Now I'm removing that part so I can have a place to mount the L.O.C. So I drilled 2 holes, ran a zip tie, and that's where I'll mount it at into place once everything's all buttoned up. All right, I'm checking the RCA cables. You want to check, make sure they're ohmed out right. They got continuity. You're checking the jacket sleeve first, and then you'll check your prongs. So you check those, and those were actually too long. I ended up finding some shorter ones and then end up going with those. Running the speaker wire for the sub now. Ran it down the passenger side and around. There it is up under the shelf in the shop. Again, everything is just kind of loose, nothing's tucked, because I've got to test everything before I put everything back together. Here I am de-energizing that power wire. If you ever put your power wire together, you fuse and you get that spark, you do this will stop all of that. Just get you a test light. Once that light go, put it on, the light goes away, then it's de-energized. You can put your fuse in there, you won't get a spark. Fuse into place. Messing with some settings on the amp. There's up under the hood finished. I know I'm longer than 12 inches on for the fuse, but it ain't gonna kill me. It'll be all right. Put a little some loom on that speaker wire as well, just to keep everything clean when I start buttoning it up. And I think, yeah, I'm going back with it now. I'm starting to go back with it, put everything back together. That's those push prongs for that right on the threshold part. You have to put those into place first and then snap it down, because it's actually up under the weather stripping. And everything just in backwards process here. That's all I'm doing. Look at me trying to videotape and do it upside down. Something wrong with me. Slide it in and it just pops right into place. Good to go. There was a lot of back and forth on this build. A lot of back and forth, a lot of plastic pieces, so I had to take my time because I did not want to break anything. That's the thing, the drawback about these newer vehicles. The 2 bolts that mounts the door panel to the door itself. That's what those screws were. But like everything else, once you can do it once, it kind of, it sticks with you. It's not that big of a deal the second or third time around. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start securing these wires, get some duct tape, put them into place just so they're not flopping all over the place. Carper's gonna go over them, they'll never be seen. Just routing everything. That's the wire for the sub. Got it tucked up under the cargo area on the back part there, up and out of the way. Laying the carpet back down. Make sure everything's routed. Got enough slack in my power wire. I'm not pinching anything. Put some loom on the wire from the L.O.C. Tucked everything into place. I got it zip tied, locked into place. It's secure. Clearance is a big deal. You've got to watch for that. Yep, now go ahead and put this piece in. You can see that on the right side, that's where that screw goes into place for that quarter paneling. So I had to put this piece back in place. Got clearance, nothing's in a bind. And here you can see that power outlet right there to the left. Clearance right over the amp. I had to test that 3 or 4 times just to make sure my amp would make it before I chose that location. And then all I had to do was put the sub into place, make my wire connections, and that was it. We're good to go. Everything's looking factory. Now let's check it out. All right, got it buttoned on up. Install complete. This is a 2016 Ford Flex. Single 8-inch kicker CompR, sealed enclosure. Start the front, there's 4-gauge power wire. Ran a little longer than 12. I'll hold it against me. Fuse there. Ran down in front of the firewall, comes back up into the car there, and then runs down to the back. There's the base knob mounted right under the dash. It also ran the same way as the power wire. Ran all the way through to the back. There's a sub there. Go ahead and put some conduit on it, kind of blend it in. He does want to make it to where he can remove it from time to time, depending on who he has in the car with him. He wanted it removable. Cargo area is normally how he has it, just like that. Every now and again he'll ride 6 deep, but normally it's just like this. You see the clearance there. We'll go ahead and rock it forward. What that looks like. That's it, just like that. Let's see. He's got the seat covers in it, so I don't know if one better do this by hand. Hang on, got the seats back. Got the seat covers on, it makes it hard. But you can see how close that is. When it rocks forward, it clears out of the way. It's right there. I don't know if this will go. Will this one go back? You can see it gains its clearance right there when it's in that position. And that's normally how he rides them. Oh, he's gonna kill me if I tear that. There you go. You can see the clearance there. Goes back in place. But that's it. This one is done. Oh, pull the black handle, then pull this one. Same thing here, one-handed. Just like that. Like I said, it won't be seen, but I wanted to make it clean. Older gentleman in his 60s. Still likes to listen to this classical music, little jazz, little R&B. We done. Back this one on out. I'll get started on the next one. You know how we do it. I did a little bit more fine tune. I brought it back out this morning. Slept on it. Did not like the output, the performance of the box, the way it was doing. So brought it back out and I added some polyfill to it. After displacement, this sealed box was right at 0.46, 0.47, which the minimum is 0.4 to 1.8 recommended for a sealed box in this one. So what I did, went in the shelf and got me some of this poly, almost like blanket style poly stuff. And I just started adding a little at a time and testing it on the bench, testing it in the car until I got the sound that I was looking for. And I used about half of that bag. That's a I don't know what size it is. There you go. That's what it is there, but I used about half of it and just layered it up. Now I have it sounding right. Based on the volume that he listens to, that's how I dialed it in, talked to him, got his genre music, dialed it into that. Nothing that I listen to, because he don't listen to the kind of music I listen to. He don't listen to the volume that I listen to. You gotta base it on your customer, how they're gonna play it. But yeah, check it out. He listens to it usually around 20 is where he tops out. This deck will go up to, I think, 50, 45 or something. That's 15. Let it off. Go a little halfway. Right when the song was going on. Like I said, 15, that's where I'm gauged. I think I got it to 22, just on the high end. He doesn't go past 17 or 18 is what he told me. But at least I'm covered. He's got play in the bass knob. Got it set where it's halfway distance at max volume, so he can always turn it up and then turn it back down. And I upgraded a while back. His all door speakers have 6-inch or 6.5-inch SoundCube loudspeakers. Run everything off factory. What he got in it. Out. Nice blend, nice blend. See him in there. Sound cubes. This other one. Oh yeah, he's gonna be happy with it. Turn it up a little bit. Got him fixed up, he ready to roll, whether he going to church, whether he going on a convention, whether he going hitting the highway, he going to get some groceries, quart of milk. But he ready. He ready. Fully functional. Build your systems around your car, not your car around your systems. Trust me, you'll enjoy it way better. Oh yeah, you know we had to tag him. That way when you pass him on the highway, he pass you, you know what he got in there, who done touched it. Yeah.